Hey everyone, I just got this Polaroid back for a Hasselblad camera. Basically, you remove the back, and then this goes on here like so. You line up that little white line there at the bottom of the camera, like that. And then you can take pictures and you actually pull the film out of the side of it. Yeah, so I got this for my Hasselblad, which is a different digital back, or digital back than I have. It's an old phase 1 back to mount it onto the back of the camera. And I was 3D printing some adapter plates, and they weren't really working out. So that's when I picked up this thing, which was like 15 bucks on eBay. They're super cheap because you can't get the film for them anymore. So I've actually already opened this, which is why there's a couple of pieces that are still over here. Let me just get this line back up. I got a couple pieces there, which I need to put back in. But I thought I would open it up here, because what I'm going to do is basically it's this plastic back. Like, you pull out the dark slide. It has a nice little holder for it. And then the Polaroid film would be in there. You take your pictures, pull them out, and that develops them. This is like the land camera style of film. So you would open it up like this, and you would load your film cartridge in here, and then as you pull it out, these rollers over here will actually squeeze all of the chemistry onto the film. Yeah, so basically you can remove that because I don't need it. Just have this half, and what I'm going to do is fully disassemble this and remove the plate off of the plastic, because this is a plate that's actually, well, I think the other part's made by Hasselblad also, but whoops, this part is made by Hasselblad. So first you have to take out these long, well, actually there's these longer screws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 2 under here, 6 and 7. That will remove this whole thing from it, but the problem is that these two are underneath this part right here. So actually, let's remove this upper plate first. See, the film slide goes between the back plate and the upper plate. There's like a little notch there for it. Really precisely engineered. So let's take these out. So there's these bigger screws, these little guys. There it is. Which are the big ones over here. And then there's 3 of these, which are smaller screws. Where's the camera? There it is. And then that's 1, 2, 3. I believe. I don't think that one is. That are the long ones. And then there's these little guys, which there's a few more of these, and these are just absolutely tiny. So you can see them there lined up next to each other. So what I'm going to do is remove all of the tiny ones. So yeah, I had this open, and one of the springs that hold the glass in, I'll show you those in a moment, one of those springs popped out and is over there somewhere. Haven't found it yet. But when I do find it, I can just reinstall it, no problem. Let's get that off and this off. So the great thing about this is that because this film isn't available anymore, I mean, some people have gotten other Polaroid films to work in here. Let's keep these all separate. But the regular peel apart film just isn't available anywhere. There we go. So these are really cheap. I got this one for $20, which for Hasselblad stuff is ridiculously cheap. So now this plate comes off. There was some additional fuzz over here, which I removed, and there was some fuzz here that was totally degrading, that usually give it a light, more of a light lock when you slide the back plate in, because this, or the dark plate rather, see, this slides in like this, and it might be hard to see, but there's a little spring right here. So this is the latch that you use to latch it onto the camera, but when this slides all the way in, it lifts that out of place so you can actually slide this all the way over. So on the regular film backs, they have, oops, they have this exact same spring, and this one just popped out. See, there it is. Let's just put those aside. These two little metal pieces that were right over here, and I'd forgotten to put them back in when I closed it back up last. I think they're just shims so that this, when this latches onto the back of the camera, when the little hooks hauled onto here, actually it'd be, no, that's right, it could be this way. No, this way. When it holds it onto the camera, it just adds just the tiniest bit more thickness there so that the thing is secure. Yeah, so there's these two screws right here. One thing that I think I missed last time is that there's another big screw right over here, which I have safely stored away in there. So I just totally forgot to put that back in. I was kind of rushing to get this all reassembled. So what I'm going to do is all of these bigger screws that hold this metal piece to the plastic plate, those I am going to not put back, because I'm going to be making a plate that attaches to this that the phase 1 camera that I have can connect to. It'll make it a unfortunately landscape, not square format, but you know, hey, it's free. That's what I got. I mean, I can buy the Hasselblad phase 1 camera, but you know what, it'll be a pain in the neck to do. So here, let me pull this off. There we go. So there's the rest of the plastics, and just for safekeeping, I'm going to reattach this here. So one thing that I learned about other Hasselblad backs is that for the light locking, they have a piece of cord or thread or something goes around the edge. I don't know if you can see it there. I get the lights reflecting it, but there's actually a piece of like yarn glued in there. I think it's glued in. I haven't tried to pull it out, to add additional light locking. I mean, the amount of engineering that goes into this is just ridiculous in a good way. So here's the plate. This is the part that the camera would be attached to. Let me just put my finger here. And then the film is actually over here. And there's actually a piece of glass right here, which is easily removable. There's these usually 4 tabs, but like I said, that one is who knows where over there. But you can just do that, and then you lose another one. Well, I'll have to find that. Anyway, see, this glass just comes out, and there's just a little metal frame that holds it in place. And these little springs, if I pull one of these out carefully, you can see they're kind of W-shaped. Those go in here. There's like 4 tiny notches that are milled out into this metal. And this thing is very, very well built, and quite frankly worth a lot more than the $20 you'll pay for it on eBay. But you know, I mean, how many people are going to need this? And I'll just do it this way. There we go. So the way I've found is the easiest to get this back in. I mean, don't have to worry about it right now, but if you get the glass in there, like this one is already under, that one is not under yet, but you can kind of lift it up, or you can also just pull the spring back using a pair of tweezers, and yeah, there it goes. Or another thing you can do, see if I can find that spring. I swear it should be like right here. Well, I can't find it right now, and I'm not going to pause. So, yeah, that holds those in. And here, this is the slide that latches it onto the back. On here, there is a tiny metal ring that goes around the screw that's normally there, and then this slides to latch onto the back of the camera. And on here, you can see it's just a plate of metal, but it's got a peg right here. My fingers are dirty from doing this. And there is a spring. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a spring with a little tiny loop in it. And what you have to do is flop it over so that it's about right, in the right orientation. And then you need to hook that onto here, kind of like that. And then you get this into the right place, and then you'd put that ring back into place. Actually, there's like a torque on it right now. I think I didn't get it on quite right. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but on the spring, it's like the loop favors one side more than the other, and you want to get that so that the side that it favors is up, so it's closer to the top, so that it's closer to this pin that's on the back here. Let's see if I can get it on there. So close. Yeah, maybe I'm not cut out for working on mechanical stuff. I think I need to get it from this direction. So this does get a little tricky for a part that I haven't quite gotten to yet. Oh yeah, here we go. And that goes right on there. Come on. Oh my god. There we go. This is ridiculous. If anybody's still watching, you know, hey. Nice. Okay, so that has to be hooked on there like that. And this can slide on there. Now I need to find where that ring went. Oh, is it underneath here? Yeah, it is. It's always good to have nice tweezers. I probably should have put this spring back in first. You kind of have to get this side. So there's basically goes in this orientation, so that this will get secured first. And you can kind of push this in, and then the act of pushing in the dark slide pushes this aside, so that the little fin on here, you can see that, unlatches it. So what I need to do is get that in there. So this end is in. I need to just hook that in. Okay. It's a little tricky. Slide that guy down. So now that's good to go. And like I said, I'm going to put those back in later. So one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm modeling this in CAD so that I can make a plate that attaches to the back of it, or whatever. And the idea with that is that I'm going to put my digital back, attach it using that, but then also I have an idea for a different kind of digital back, and for that I'll need a frosted screen, so I'll be able to pull this out and actually drop in a frosted screen that I've cut for it. But what I think I'm probably going to do is just buy a second one of these, because, you know, they're cheap. Okay, that's in. Let's see the latch doesn't go over all the way, but so I only have 2 screws holding this in right now. If I were to slide in the dark slide, Now it goes in all the way because that little latch over there is holding it. And that's exactly the same mechanism that's inside the regular film backs. Like, I think that piece of metal is identical to the one that I found in my my A12 back. So the great thing is that, you know, this stuff I inherited, so it's not like I spent thousands of dollars. It's just for fun, so it's not like I'm, if it breaks, I'm out real money, and I'm not out. I mean, yeah, I could sell it, but, you know, it has sentimental value, so that's not going to happen. Right, yeah, so if it breaks, I'm not out money. It's not like I need the cameras for my job or anything, so there we go. I did it again. I forgot to put in these two little metal plates. Well, luckily this all comes apart pretty easily. I bet I could just slide them in. So let me just put this screw over here. Okay, so let's see if I can get these in. I might be able to. Oh, you know what? The damn thing's too precise. I can't do it. Oh, you know what? It's probably just because this screw is in. Just because I don't want to have to realign the spring up top there. Let's see. Oh, yeah, no problem. I'm just gonna hold this up with one pair of tweezers, and then just use a second pair of tweezers to get this in. So these little hat-looking things sit in a little groove that's right about. You know what? It's not worth it. They sit in a little groove that's just like right there. So let's. It's not worth possibly damaging something. Let me do this. So the screwdriver that I'm using for this is just one single flathead screw that works for everything. I believe it is like a 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter, something along those lines. It's in this iFixit tray. It's a 2.5 millimeter, and it ends up having the right blade size and everything for this. Oh, I can feel the spring acting on this. Let's put my finger there to keep that from popping up, which might be too late. Why is it not coming? There it goes. Okay. Yeah, good. Okay, so these little hats go on here. There's a tiny recess for them right there. It kind of just goes in there. That's it. That was the thing I missed. So. That on there. I like to put in this screw first because it's right by the spring, so it'll hold it down and in place. Unfortunately, right now, I really wish my screwdriver wasn't magnetized. Make this a little easier. Come on. Cross-threading is a problem. Okay, instead, let's try this screw over here. So this uses the longer 3 screws in the top 1, 2, 3 spots. Actually, the little screws, you can actually just kind of sit in there, and their threads are so short that they just kind of sit in place in the little bevels that are already cut in the metal. It's kind of convenient. But these you actually have to stand upright. I'm just talking now. There we go. And like I said, these backs are super cheap on eBay because nobody who would spend the money for them, or who had spent the money for them back in the day, can get the film for them anymore, so they're kind of useless in that role. I mean, you might be able to find some, 10-year-old expired film, but it'll cost you $40 for a pack of 10 or 12 or however many exposures are in a package. So it's just really not worth it. It really feels like the Phase 1, the first one that came out, the H5. There may have been one before that, but the H5 is the first one that I can find anything about. It's a 6 megapixel sensor, and it's cropped. It fills up about that much of it. It's a 2x3 sensor. It's probably around, I think it's 2000 by 3000 pixels. It really feels like the niche that they were going for is the replacement of this thing, the Polaroid back. So you can get instant samples of how the lighting is working out. So yeah, here we go. This is a plate. I'll just pull that out for now. So you can mount whatever you want on this, and it goes, it snaps on here without problems because it was made for it. Oh, so I can't snap it on because the dark slide is not in. It's not, remember, that doesn't move, but if I slide this all the way in, now it does. So now I can get this, whoops, and get this plate on there. Now you can see the plate is solidly mounted on there. It's not pretty. It got a lot of overhang. And it could probably all be cut off. I mean, don't need any of this anymore. But yeah, there's and there we go. So I could reassemble it, but I'm not going to because I don't need it assembled. Let's oh my god, I'm at 22 minutes already. Wow. Haven't really looked in this, although it looks like it's got some chemical crust in it. Looks like this pulls out Polaroid land camera back. Huh. And these are the rollers that would you would use to squeeze the developer stuff onto the film. And to be honest, I'm okay with not using this stuff anymore. I used some land camera film years ago, and it was a pain. It was gross, got everywhere, it was messy. Anyway, there we go. Plate for doing my own stuff on the back of a camera. That's all I got. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.